Clue for Evidence news interview series is back with yet another exclusive interview. Today we have with us Ms. Namrata Deshpande. Ma'am has Master in Forensic Science from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. Currently, she is Assistant Professor in Department of Forensic Science in Yashwantrao Chauhan Institute of Science, Satara. I, Sonam Namdar, welcome you on behalf of the entire Clue for Evidence team. We are glad to have you today with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, ma'am, let's start. What
Yeah.
inspired you the most to choose forensic toxicology and chemistry as a field in forensic science?
Uh, as we all know, being a student, we have very much interest in chemical reactions, right? When two chemicals mix with each other, a product gives a nice color. So, when I'm studying in BSc, I have very much attraction towards the chemical reaction. Exactly what happens in that? What is the mechanism so that the product gets colored or their color is changing? I have very much enthusiasm to know all the things in chemical reactions. This is the first point, and the next one is I have passion for the chemistry, and actually at that time I had a vision of working in pharmaceutical companies. So from that point of view, I have chosen chemistry and toxicology as my specialization subject. So it is the reason behind that.
Okay, that's nice. If you could choose, would you rather work in a lab or a crime scene, and why?
I would like to work in a crime scenario, in crime scene investigation, because it happens many times. Knowledge is not for our practical purpose. Actually, practical knowledge is important while you are working in the field. Crime scene investigation teaches you a lot of things which are not in the book. you know Most of the time we learn that barricade is the first step in crime scene investigation, but actually how we have to barricade that crime scene, we are unaware of that. Okay, so all the practical knowledge we can get with the help of investigation, and that's why I would like to work in crime scenario rather than lab.
Okay. Ma'am, what would you like to say about the lack of practical knowledge amongst the students in the field of forensic toxicology and chemistry?
Actually, students give important to grades only. They are a lack of basic knowledge. They only pursue that they have a grade, they have great grades, and they have good opportunity on that basis. But for acquiring good grades, you have basic knowledge of that subject. Anything you choose, any one subject, it is not mandatory that you have to choose the subject which you like or which you don't like. But what is the main thing is that you have to basic knowledge, and you have a deep knowledge regarding that subject. Then and thenly you will grow more and more, and you acquire more and more knowledge, current and recent trends in that area, in that subject. And then you only survive in this field, because this is a upcoming field, this is a growing field in India. So you have greater and greater knowledge regarding that. So students have very much less knowledge. They are trying to just study for the exam purpose, and they if they get good marks, they keep that knowledge in the past and go in the future. So that is not happening, right? So they
Yes.
have a deep knowledge regarding this.
But sometimes it happens that the instruments are not available in the college they study. So,
Yeah,
what would
it
you like to say
happens,
about
but
that?
there are many other options. Institutions has many more types with another institutions, right? So
Yes.
if in my institution instrument is not available, I can take help from other institutions which has tie-up with us, or which have contact with us, and we can go there and have a demonstrative lectures for that. So we can arrange it for. So there is a not limitation of instrumentation for gaining knowledge. If you want to gain really a knowledge, then you can get it from anywhere. There are YouTube series, various videos regarding instrumentations. So we can take knowledge from anywhere. It is not mandatory that you have an instrument with you in the college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward to the next question. What are the major challenges and problems did you face at your time?
Basically, I have studied in government institute, right? So there are all the instruments present. So as such, I have not faced challenges while studying, because I have handled all the instruments, VSC, HPLC, GC, MS. So basically, I have not faced, but uh, I can tell you that in very much private institutions, due to lack of funding, right? Lack of funding, lack of infrastructure, they have not instrumentations, okay, proper instrumentations. So student face problem while learning. uh, See, in their syllabus they have instrumentation like HPLC, GC. Only teaching is not the way to understand that concept, okay? Only theoretical knowledge is not enough to understand that instrumentation, their principle, their working, how uh, they analyze the sample and how they give the results. You have to at least for once you have to go and visit that instrumentation lab. You have to see their working for at least once. So many institutions face this problem, but as I said earlier, you can take help from other institutions which have tie up with you. So there are limitations, but you can, if you are able to overcome that, you will definitely take a knowledge from that.
Yes, ma'am. Then, what are the safety processes one should follow when working with toxic materials?
uh, as like normal laboratory safety measurements, first of all you have to wear a mask, gloves, proper laboratory lab coats, okay, proper shoes and goggles, because you are handling toxic chemicals, right? So you have to prevent your skin, your eyes and other organs from damage, okay? So, and the most important thing while working in the laboratory is, you have, if you are dealing with chemicals, you have to read the labels, okay, which is intact with that bottle. There are mentioned precautions. You have to read carefully that, and then you use that chemicals. Second thing is, the you have to work with anyone which is senior to you and have a knowledge regarding that work, okay? If you don't have any knowledge regarding that chemical and you are working in the laboratory alone, many times problems happens, right? So if you are unable to solve that problems, then you will take help of others. So it is my suggestion to students that don't work alone, okay, in the laboratory. Work in the presence of your teacher, your tutor, right? So these are the safety measurements you have to take while working in the laboratory. And please wash your hands frequently after taking chemicals. Do not keep open the lids of that chemicals, okay? So it will harm you definitely if you keep that open. So these are the basic things which you have to learn. And of course, sure, I'm sure very much in a graduation, actually after bypassing 12th, you have know all these terminologies and all these instructions very well, because you have done practicals in 11th 12th basis, right? So you have all that knowledge.
Ma'am, as it happens in Maharashtra, as we know that for practical training, it is not allowed before the completion of MSc in the FSL. So, what would you like to say about it?
uh, no, it's
So, how
not
can
like that.
one gain experience on this?
Yeah, actually, labs provide training sessions to you of about 1 month, 6 months, right? And even private labs, even there are many more private labs which provides you training sessions of 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, so you can take knowledge from them. It is not like this that they won't allow you, okay, but the thing is they choose you on the basis of your uh, level and your knowledge, okay. At the BSc level they doesn't allow you, but at MSc 1, MSc 2 they allow you for working. I also done the training for 1 month in Hyderabad FSL, Telangana FSL, right, for 1 month at my BSc level. So it's not like that they don't allow you, but they check your knowledge. If you are capable of handling all those things in the laboratory, right, so they allow you. Yeah.
Ma'am, which is the most preferred instrumentation technique in the field of forensic toxicology and chemistry? And what are the latest advancement in this field?
As I already told you, it is not like that a preferred instrumentation technique is used mostly, because it depends on the sample which will you get from the crime scenario. Okay, nature of that sample, quantity of that sample, you are going to choose your technique for the analysis. So there are very much techniques such as chromatographic technique, spectroscopic technique. For quantitative purpose, you go for the gravimetric analysis. So according to the sample you are going to choose that technique. So it is not as like that something is given preference to only chromatography. It's not like that. Yeah.
As a forensic scientist, a person should have a strong command over his or her emotions to deal with the disturbing crime scenes. So, according to you, how can a person do that?
Yeah, we have to keep control on our emotions. That's why forensic psychology is there in our subject, right? Uh, First of all, we have to think as a stranger when we go on a crime scene, when we investigate the crime scene, right? We don't have to connect our emotions to that crime scene. Many times it happens that we have first exposure to the crime scene, right? Then it happens that we get fear about that. If any kind of crime scene, let's say it's murder, right, when you see that dead body, you will get a fear for that, but you have to remove that fear. It will happens only by uh, gaining knowledge about that, and by preparing emotionally to yourself. So to prepare emotionally yourself, you have to see many more videos such like that, okay. So as time elapses, you will be prepared for all such kind of situations.
In what ways you try to improve yourself in this pandemic time?
Actually, this pandemic time is a very good time. I would like to say that, because in the past when I was studied, it happens many times that online platforms are not available as much as this right now, okay. There are, but less than current scenario. So in this pandemic situation, there are various webinar series organized by various institutions. Various online workshops are also there. Various virtual conferences are also there happen, okay. So you can explore yourself by attending all these webinars, conferences, by publishing papers, by reviewing their conferences, reviewing papers. You can elaborate your knowledge and grow yourself by these methods.
Uh, what are the skills required to be an expert in the field of forensic toxicology and chemistry?
uh, I would like to say that skills such as you have a basic knowledge. This is the first and foremost skill you have to be with you. Okay, you have a basic knowledge regarding that subject, and you have a good proper communication skill and understanding of the current scenario. Right? If you go in the crime scene and you don't know about the barricade and all, okay, it is not worth it. So you have a proper knowledge while going on the crime scene, that how we should have to investigate that crime scene, what are the precautions, what are the first steps in that. how you are going to search that crime scene. So you have to know all the things, all the basic knowledge, all the basic things, so that you can go further.
What are the job opportunities in the field of forensic toxicology and chemistry in the upcoming years?
uh, as you know, it depends on your view, what in which field you have want to your career. Okay, if you want to be an AP assistant professor, or you want to be an lecturer, there are various institutions, they are offering you uh, as offering you this post. But since 2021 there is a PhD mandatory for you, okay, for being a AP. And you have a good qualification such as net and set, okay, for that purpose. So if you want to do that, this is a one kind of option for you for making your career. So if you want to be an AP, so you have qualifications along with PhD, okay. apart from that Apart from that, there are various chemical analyzers posts from regional and forensic science laboratories, okay, on contractual basis, definitely. And if you want a permanent post in the forensic science laboratories, you have to prepare for MPSC, okay. MPSC through उनके post निकलते हैं, so you have to prepare for that. So these are the options. And apart from chemistry and toxicology, if you want to work, there are various opportunities you have within us right now. Many forensic students are placed in insurance companies, insurance sectors, banking sectors, right? And there are various private laboratories nowadays coming, so you can try there also.
Okay. Ma'am, as you
Yeah.
mentioned that from 2021 it is mandatory that a
Hmm.
PhD degree should be there for a faculty.
Huh.
So what about the faculties that are now at present in there and they don't have that PhD degree?
They have to do a PhD for if they want a permanent position in that field. Okay, if they want a permanent, they have to do a PhD.
Means it is like they have to leave the job for that purpose.
No, they don't have to leave the job.
They can continue.
Uh, they can continue, but they can take proper permissions from their institutions and time for their PhD work. And after PhD work is completed, they can rejoin their job. So it is not mandatory to left their job, but they have a PhD degree with us uh, for promotions. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, what has been your biggest professional disappointment?
I'm not saying that it is a biggest professional disappointment, because I have recently started my career and I have a lots of things to see in my life ahead. So I'm not saying that it's like, but in my graduation, there is an opportunity working in Delhi FSL. Okay, but due to some reason, I am not able to attend that training. So this I always regret for that, and this is my failure. But definitely I will work afterwards in my life.
Sure, ma'am. All the best for that.
Thank you.
And what advice would you like to give to the students who are looking for making their career in the field of forensic toxicology and chemistry?
I would say ki they have to be a patient. This is my first suggestion to all of them. They have to be a patient while pursuing career in forensic field, because as you know that forensic science is a growing field in our country. Okay, it is not so well established like in many other countries. Okay, so you have to be a patient, you have to explore many more things, such as you have to participate in poster presentations, seminars, webinars, conferences. Okay, you have to explore yourself for your betterment, for getting more and more knowledge. While doing that, you have to be patient in this field, because it's not like that when you become an engineer, you have campus job opportunities and you got selected and recruited. Okay, this thing is not happening in our field. So that so for that I am always saying my students that you have to be a patient and have a passion for your field, and you have to struggle hard for that. So these three things are most necessary while pursuing a career in forensic science.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yeah.
is there a message for the our viewers on your
uh,
side?
yeah, sure. um, be the passionate about your work. Okay, don't do forensic science because your mother is saying, your father is saying, okay, your relatives are saying. So do it passionately, make it your passion and work for that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, it was nice talking to you with all the knowledge and experience. I really hope that our viewers will enjoy it. And thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time and knowledge and for being with us for this valuable session.
I would also like to give thanks to you for giving me this big opportunity and exploring myself in front of you, sharing for my knowledge. Thank you so much for patient listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.